method here. I might be doing it careless. Oh, I have things blocked. Oh no, I don't.
Bro,
What is wrong with this guy? Okay, yeah. What's the topic again?
yeah, sure. What do you define God as?
Oh, I don't even define God. I don't have a definition for God, man.
Oh, okay, so I can define God
Yeah, wait.
as
Just for
a
the
square.
recording. Just for the recording. I'm gonna be
Okay,
agnostic. To the
repeat. Let me speak.
proposition that God exists.
Okay, so I can define God as a square, then I can show a picture of a square, then I win, according to you, since you don't have a specific
Look, if you want to do that, that's fine. You're still gonna lose on that though.
design. The fuck? Oh my god, you just conceded. You just conceded. Holy shit.
No, look. You can define God as anything you want. You're still gonna lose on the proposition. So what do you define God as?
As a square. What's stopping me
Okay,
from
prove a square exists.
finding a square? Hmm?
Prove a square exists.
Yeah, can is a mathematical shape can mathematical shape exist?
No, I don't
Yeah,
even think it
physical shape.
exists.
Oh my god, that's a mathematical axiom, so you denied the epistemic grounds that you derive a knowledge from, so you auto conceded. Oh my god.
That's fine. I deny axioms. What's the problem?
You just denied mathematical axioms. Do you know what a
Yes,
mathematical
I
axiom
did.
is?
I don't see why I have to hold to the view that axioms are something that can't be denied. I need an argument for that.
So an axiom by definition is the governing link for knowledge. So if you ask me for a justification as to why square exists, then you can ask more and more.
Wait, just to
Then
be clear, what was the definition for axiom?
a self-evident truth for the ground of knowledge, which you derive propositional construction.
Okay, what does it mean to be self-evident?
You don't need evidence to retard.
Not need evidence. Yeah, I just don't agree with. I don't agree with that. Then I don't agree with the definition. Actually, no, I don't even agree
Like
with
this is
like.
literally
Look. I don't listen. Listen. I don't agree with like. Listen. I don't agree with axioms being some sort of
And
thing
who
you
are you
should.
talking to?
Yo, listen. Calm down.
so we can
I
have
don't agree. Listen, I'm not done. Let me tell you what I'm saying.
just
Look.
confused. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my
You
god.
can't derive propositions here. You can't
Okay.
I
Look.
like
I don't listen. Why are you? I didn't even get to say what I wanted to say. Look, the recording can't hear you. I want to make sure you hear this though, so don't talk. Listen, I
Huh?
don't agree with axioms just being something we accept with
Mm.
no Dude, why are you moaning in my ear?
Shit, this shit's
This
real.
people, man, this
Mm.
Yeah, look, we're gonna mute this guy. Let's get a mute on that guy, please. He's just moaning in my ear. Yo, look, stop rambling. Nobody said anything. Look. Okay, look.
That you reach, that's to reach
Yo, bro.
to a point which you can have just
Yo,
one. You have
yo, Mr. Gay
just
Boy, dude, I haven't even said anything, and the guy's rambling. What are we?
thing for an axiom. It exists, just tell me
Okay, look. I'm just gonna talk. I'm gonna drown you. The recording's not gonna hear you. So listen. The reason I don't accept like axioms is because, well, it just seems something in which doesn't satisfy our epistemic, humility, or it doesn't accept, doesn't satisfy. Right? It's not. I'll just say it's not as epistemically satisfying, right? Because when we talk about axioms under your definition, it's just something we accept and no source of evidence. Well, you know, generally when we say something is like the basis or grounded, it's something in which can be justified, right? We have the ability to justify. Like when we say the universe is the basis of all life, that's justified via well, when we look at it, when we think about what else is, the or what else is the coming or what else would have existed before, we say, well, there's nothing else because they would need some temporal and spatial things. So meaning that nothing spatial or nothing that currently exists as some form of life could have existed before the universe, right? I don't accept axioms because it's just one, not as epistemically satisfying, and two, you know,
what grounds
it just seems to be something in which doesn't
what
have
grounds
any evidence and which doesn't align with any sort of,
negation.
um,
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
theory,
What grounds
theory of truth. There we go.
derive negation? Do you derive a negation? Do you derive a valuation
Yeah,
function?
I won't lie. You're gonna have to restart. Go ahead.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. On what grounds are you deriving a valuation function in which you can apply a negation to? So within a propositional justification or inquiry of denying X, that still falls under the point.
Look, go ahead and simplify all that. Thank you.
And I'm saying that on what grounds do you affirm a line range of negation or affirmation to a propositional construction since we don't know
Okay,
it.
look, you repeating it isn't simplifying it. I want you to simplify it. Make it simpler.
Let me speak. Holy shit, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. But shit.
Look, when you continue to
So
do the same retarded thing and like repeating the one thing I don't understand, it looks like you're insane, dude.
yeah,
Doing one thing that isn't working makes you look insane. And make it simpler.
if you don't understand it, then you're retarded. In fact, can
Okay,
you
so look. I'm asking you to simplify it, right?
you need find X. But can you apply an application upon me?
Yeah. What do you say?
Can you make an application upon with an electrical current?
Like, bro, can you just repeat the thing you were saying and simplify it?
Holy shit. Okay, why do I have to simplify? Justify
Yo,
that.
okay, look, Axiom, bro, get your man's.
No,
The
no,
guy's clearly being weird.
holy shit.
The guy's clearly being weird.
I'm eating, bro. Fuck, I'm just chilling, bro.
Wait,
No. Look, Axiom. I'm not mad at you, but look, the guy's not simplifying things. He's not repeating it. Like the guy's just being weird.
yeah, why do I have to simplify? Well, that's electrical
It's-
current.
I won't say that he's being weird. I just think he has mic problem, like the mic quality and shit. Like that's it. Nah, yeah, just fix your mic, Tim.
Yeah, I just realized that I need an RTG test.
Yeah, look, Seem, can you just repeat and simplify what you were saying in response to what I just said?
Alright, I'm gonna simplify it as much as possible. But if you cut me, then I'm not gonna repeat it. Deal? Deal or nah? Nigga speak.
Yeah, look, just give the response, please.
Alright, so if you apply a positional justification or a negation in which you can deny X within an epistemic inquiry, then you use a type of a grounding of axioms or ground simple grounds of belief or knowledge, my bad, to derive such construction laws from a proposition epistemically. So if you affirm this, then you accept axioms, which includes mathematical axioms. And that is my point. So you concede that a square exists. However, if you deny it, then you don't have any capacity to engage dialectically because you can't construct meaning a meaningful progression within the debate. And that comes to the concussion. So choose your point. Yo, speak up, Kuro.
Yeah, look, I just deny both, right? I just say, well, I don't agree that these things are unfounded, right? Or at least, the definition of acts you give, I don't think we should go into that because, well, one, not epistemically unsatisfying,
Let me ask
and
you this. Let me ask you this.
no,
Let
I'm
me
not
ask you
done.
this.
Actually, no, I've already said you can ask the question. Go ahead.
How do you deny it? Like, how do you deny it? How do you deny it? On what grounds are you affirming a denial form? Grounds of
Yeah,
knowledge.
I've already given a response and the reasoning for why I deny it.
That reasoning comes from grounds of knowledge, which literally means my point. Oh my God.
No, look, I've already given like an example in which we can like justify something that we deem to be axiomatic.
Uh, you do know that you just fell into my dilemma.
Yeah, so look, I deny axioms, right? I deny the definition you give for axioms. Look, I deny the definition you give for axioms, right? Because it leads to
How
something
do you
that's
deny it? How do you deny it?
unsatisfying.
In fact,
But
in fact,
look,
how do you evaluate denial
but
or
look, what I accept, right? I accept that there are some things. I accept that there are things in which we use to branch off other beliefs off of, or which we branch other beliefs off of. I accept that, but I think we need justification for axioms or things like that. I don't think things are like
uh,
true just because we say it's true. I don't think we should accept that. So the example I gave for that was talking about the universe. If you need me to repeat it, I got you.
no, I understood, which falls into my dilemma quick. And by definition, you accept axioms because they are self-evident truth, which don't need justification for further validity or truth.
No, I don't accept your definition for axioms, but
If you define a square as a mathematical
I
axiom,
don't
then you do accept it. Oh my
I don't
God.
accept your definition for. Oh my god. Look, I don't accept your definition for axioms.
don't hold into a quotation from God. You allowed me to define God as I want.
Yeah, look, I asked you to define God. You said that, well, you define him as a square. I asked you why squares exist. You said it was some axiom, right? I denied axioms, and then we're going on about why axioms exist, right? And well, listen,
Yeah.
I don't accept your definition for axioms, right? I think, well, there needs to be justification for the thing being true.
How do you define axioms?
Yeah, I just think it's something in which we branch other beliefs off of, just the fundamental of it, in which we give justification for it being true through some other means.
That's I hope I hope you realize this, but that's literally my definition, but with different
No,
words.
look. Your definition holds to the commitment that it is true without justification. I don't hold to that commitment. I say you need justification for us to take it as true. Yours
All
holds
right,
to the
so
commitment.
wait, wait,
So,
wait, wait, wait. So can you ask me to justify the epistemic grounds of justification? Like, how do you have to justify your inquiry of justification?
yeah, what do you mean by inquiry?
Yeah, basically grounding interchangeably. I don't care about its denotative definition, to be honest.
Bro, okay, just re ask the question.
So, can you ask me to justify the epistemic ground of justification that which we base off within the relation of a warrant? Can I justify it? Can you justify it? Can you justify the
Yeah,
epistemic ground
wait, look in chat. Is that what she said?
Yeah, can you justify why the ground at which epistemic grounds are based off to a justification is true? Because if you do, then that's
Yeah,
then
look, I
this
won't lie.
case
Just type that out, bro. Just
in
type that out.
the first place.
Yeah, look, just type it out, bro. Just type it out.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Bro, this low key kind of boring.
Yo, kid, Axiom, answer the DM. Yo, this guy's not gonna
What
get put on the
DM?
tier list.
What
Yes,
DM,
bro.
bro?
I sent you a DM like
You literally
5 minutes
messed
ago.
up with my dilemma. You literally fell for it. Oh my god. What
Yeah,
the-
bro, stop rambling. Just type out what you said.
Or seeing not just talking or anything like that. You have to debate.
This guy went until the last part. I just corrected you.
Bro, what?
Uh, I think the mic is ruined. I just think the mic is ruined. That's it.
Okay, can I justify
Yeah.
justification? Can I justify the method of justification?
Can I justify the method of justification? Is that what you just asked me?
Yeah, yeah.
For
Can I
what?
justify the method of justification without presupposing the word first? Yes or no?
Mmm. Can I
I mean,
justify? Yeah, sure. I don't see the problem with that.
the presupposes that justification is valid in the first place. To justify justification, which later goes against warrant to believe.
Okay,
Of
look. If we accept yours, right, we have to do the same thing anyway, right? So if we accept your definition of axiom, you have to say, well, look, there's no reason for us to accept this thing as true. We just accept it as true because, well, we accept it as true. So you have to assume that it's true, and you make all these other beliefs, right? Well, look, I say, well, we do that, but listen, instead of obviously currently or keep on going and accepting these things as true, we give some justification for the original thing. Like I don't really see an argument for why your definition doesn't do the same thing and which goes on with mine.
because my definition is absolutely necessary for a ground of knowledge in which we can construct a propositional propositional method of dialectically engaging over X. However, if we follow your definition, then I can just
Yeah, look, I'm just
add.
gonna cut you off now because you're saying something like retarded. Listen, you just told me, you just vocalized to the crowd, to the recording actually. You just said that the reason your definition doesn't do that is because we accept it as true.
Holy
Really?
shit, let me speak. Holy
Look,
shit.
look. Yes or no? Did you just say that?
Uh, Shut the fuck up.
Look, yes or no? Did you just say that?
Fuck up.
Look, if you just give me a yes or no, then I'll go back on mute.
Yes.
Okay, so you said it. Oh wow. Look, Axiom. Axiom. I know you're not that retarded, bro. Look, you see how that's a blunder, right?
Be muted. To be muted. Anyways, my definition of an axiom is necessary for ground of knowledge. However, if we follow your definition of justification or an axiom, then you don't have any grounds of constructing a propositional function within a dialectic. So an assumption is absolutely necessary. However, if you presuppose that i- a thing is valid, still uh, but still apply a skeptical inquiry to it, then that's a progressive contradiction. However, and we can uh, and we can also infer by that you can see it to the dialectic. Simple as that.
Look, you're retarded. Listen, the reason that I gave that I don't really see a problem with it is because either way, no matter which definition you have, the critique just seems to fail because under your definition, you have to do the same thing in which you just agreed to, right? You blatantly just said to me, right? You accept the definition or you accept that an axiom is an axiom, with no further justification, and then you branch other beliefs off of it. You just told me that. You said yes when I asked you it, and then you try to give the critique towards my definition. Like the problem just, I know you see the problem there, dude. Like there's no way you think the critique works here.
Again, again, my definition is necessary because within your paradigm or definition of an axiom, it's results in a contradiction because you need to presuppose a justification method to justify a conjecture which needs skeptical inquiry that doesn't involve acceptance within an epistemic ground. So it's different because I don't need to presuppose X to prove axiom X because I don't need to, wait, let me speak, I don't have to presuppose that by
Nobody said anything, Skid. So that was Axiom's mic.
holy shit, let me speak. For example, within a mathematical context, I don't need to presuppose a proof by contradiction to use it to prove a proof by contradiction because that presupposes a validity.
Yeah,
So
look, I've already given like listen. I'm literally just doing what like your definition does, except that there seems to be justification for the axiom further on. Even accepting that like the definition, or even accepting that the definition is absurd, your definition is also absurd because your def. Yeah. Okay, like just for the recording. Well, going over gotta go over this next point about just in case that same guy did lose that first point.
yeah,
And
so count that whatever
look,
you
calm down.
have.
Let me
No,
check the
whatever
recording.
you had.
Look, Seam, let's let the recording know what we're talking about first, buddy. So look, just in case, Seam lost that first point, in which he did. We have to go over, in which we have to look, calm down. In which we have to go, look, calm down, Seam. Calm me,
Yeah,
cool. We have to go over the point on whether or not this axiom, or whether or not this thing is actually an axiom, right? Whether or not the axiom is justified, etc., etc. I don't really care. Right? That's what we have to go over right now. So, look, what
yeah.
Seemed has to do is lay out an argument for why this thing is true.
We
Go
start
ahead,
without
Seemed.
justification method.
Look,
Let's
Seemed,
just
go out and
start
look,
off.
Seemed, go out and lay out the justification for why this thing is true.
I do have to presuppose it is true because, in fact, how do you know I need to justify it without axiom? Go ahead and answer that.
No, look, we already went over that point. It just seems to be something that critiques both of our arguments. We went over that point. Let's go over the
So
fact
within
that
your theory, if there's
look, I
a
listen.
question again,
I accept. Look, seemed I accept axioms, so it's just like a relevant question.
I do know within your definition we thought no need for repetition.
Like, I accept axioms. So
Yeah, axioms within your definition, no need for repetition. You already told.
yeah, your mic just failed. Repeat that.
axioms within your own definition, which doesn't need repetition. I already understood. And thus, my definition of axioms is necessary to construct a propositional engagement with you, or have an epistemic grounds.
Look, I guess I'll just ask. Look, just to like entertain you, is it the case that there can't be a way to justify an axiom by using some other means, right? Because all an axiom is something in which is a basis and which branches or allows for branches of other beliefs and which are related to the axiom to come up. So is it a way that we can justify the axiom independent from using the belief system?
What do you mean by that? Axioms independent of the
Yeah,
belief
like
system.
I'll give an example, right? The way we justify, something existing is by using something that's external to its existence, right? So we say, well, look, we see, um, we see this thing, may have had some effect on something else, and which to have an effect on something else, you need an existence, or well, we see um, X holding X products, and therefore to hold X products, you need properties. You don't say, well, X exists because X exists, because that would be using the same set of beliefs to justify itself. So I'm asking you, right? Can you use a distinct set of beliefs to justify or beliefs external to the thing you're trying to justify an axiom?
Uh, no, because that would presuppose the justification method to begin with.
Okay, look, do you have to use, or can you use, empirical evidence to justify a mathematical claim?
How do you know empirical evidence is valid if not due to axioms? Go ahead and justify it real quick.
Yeah, look, I'll just use like a distinct set of beliefs, distinct from those sets of axioms.
Yeah. How do you know that distinct set of beliefs is a valid criteria
Yeah,
for
look, if we
justification?
just look, if we just go, look, if we go, well, look, um, we see this thing, what it means to be true, or what seems to co-align with what we mean by true. Look, what seems to co-align with what we mean by true is whether or not this thing corresponds to reality. We see this thing corresponds to reality, therefore we can go, well, look, something else in which, or something else in which we're gonna prove using the original sets of beliefs and that we use or that we prove to be true. Very well, the second set of beliefs just seem to be true.
Again, that will still fall under a method of justification that presupposes axioms. So it's
Wait,
just
how does it
presuppose
presuppose? How does it presuppose the axiom?
because do you need the justified justification method?
Yeah, so there's justification for why like the correspondence theory were to be true.
So
It's
you
just
need
well,
to
look, we're
suppose
just to
that
be well, look, it seems to fit within the beliefs that we mean by what we say true, and well, if it seems to co-align with what we use, the justifier there just seems to be the definition. The definition here, right, just doesn't seem to be something that we can disprove. You can say that it doesn't align or fit within a certain context, but you can't say you can disprove a definition because a definition doesn't have a truth value.
can you repeat that?
Yeah, so look, the justifier for the correspondence theory would just be a definition. So like when we say something is true, we say, well, it exists within reality. The definition of correspondence theory seems to align with that. It seems to fit within the set of beliefs. So look, given that, the justifier here just seems to be the definition.
Again, you need to presuppose axioms
No, look,
to
what axiom is being
you
presupposed there?
speak on what you were saying because you have to again presuppose a grounds of belief to correlate the correspondence of proposition X to reality would be a sufficient ground of belief in believing X, and how does a link of an implication of external X of external Y would validly derive X.
Okay, so what axiom seems to be presupposed there?
A, the convention T and inference laws.
You go ahead and explain what those are.
Convention T is
You
this
guys are still
quotation.
here, bro.
Wait. A convention T is quotationally corresponding or proposition to a logical space that is linguistically constructed, grammatically constructed, or
I won't lie,
mathematically.
like I didn't understand a word you just said, so like I'll just look this thing up. What's it called?
Convention T.
convention T axiom.
Add a subscript systematic to it.
Yeah, look, that just seems, yeah, you're retarded. Look, that just seems to lay out the correspondence theory, and well, I've already given, yeah, look, I've already given the justifier for the correspondence theory, retard. Look, seem to be quiet. I've already given or justification for the correspondence theory, right? I said the justification is, well, if you look at another set of beliefs which is external to it, you say, well, look, definitions, the justifier here just seems to be this set of beliefs in which we use, and which is the definition when we talk about whether or not this thing is true. We talk about whether or not this thing aligns with this second set of beliefs, or we talk about whether or not this thing corresponds to reality. So the justifier just seems to be the definition here. You saying, well, look, it presupposes the axiom. No, it doesn't. The definition or the justifier here is the definition. Not gonna mind that blunder there.
Mm.
First of all, the convention T is this quotationally corresponding a proposition to a logical space, blah blah blah. I already explained that, and you will need to presuppose it to apply correspondence theory in order to correspond a proposition to it. Because
Wait, where is correspondence theory being applied? Thank you.
Shut the fuck up. Let me speak.
No, look, if you're gonna give some retarded response, I'm gonna ask you a question for it. So where does it seem that the correspondence theory is being applied? Go ahead.
Again,
Okay, now look, answer the question.
Oh my god. Are you ignoring?
Look, I just want to answer to the question, not you dodging it. Go ahead and give it.
Question what?
Yeah, so the question was, where does it seem that the correspondence theory is being applied within the justifier? You can go ahead and give like the argument if you have it.
Anyways, correspondence theory used for method of justification. Your mic cut off. Like, holy shit.
Look, my mic was muted, but go ahead.
So again, correspondence theory will need a set of grounding in order to align a proposition to its.
Oh yeah, so the grounding was already given. So can you actually give a response that answer my question? Which where is this being applied to?
I will answer the question because you're already using a method of justification that needs to presuppose a justification.
No, so look. The question was where. Listen. The question was where does it seem that the correspondence theory is being applied within the set of beliefs in which justifies the correspondence theory?
And then a set of beliefs that justify correspondence theory. Fuck.
Yep.
What are you saying?
Are you gonna answer the question?
That's Larry. The Larry is nonsensical.
And why is it nonsensical? No.
Because you're saying that correspondence theory is.
Yeah, so correspondence theory seems to be justified via a set of beliefs. That's the argument I just gave. You said that correspondence theory is being presupposed here. I'm asking you, where is correspondence being applied here?
Because you're already constructing a propositional form of linguistic construction of.
Okay, so look, you saying that doesn't actually give an answer to where it's being applied. So I want an answer. Where within the proposition does it seem to be being applied, right? The answer that I want is, well, when you say that the correspondence theory is true, you're saying that, well, it seems to justify the beliefs of the definition. That might be an answer, although it's retarded. That's the type of answer I want, so go ahead and give one, please. Yo, look, I don't have all night. I want an answer now, please.
Again, you didn't even let me speak. Holy shit, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because every single start of your sentence just seems to be some retardation, in which I don't appreciate. I appreciate you to give actual responses that answer my questions instead of you running away from the question. So go ahead and give the answer to the question, please.
Because correspondence theory needs to be presupposed for application with a logical space. So your retarded ass won't understand.
Wait, where do the laws of space just seem to be within the beliefs? Look, I'm just gonna keep asking you questions. I'm gonna keep going down and down because you keep making claims in which the beliefs aren't presupposed or aren't being used here. So where does it seem that the laws of space seem to be applied here?
The laws of space. The fuck? Your mic is incoherent.
My mic is incoherent? Wow. Look, where is it the case? Look, just for you, I'll actually just justify the laws of space, right? So I say, well, look, where we say we see these things within reality, right? What justified the look, listen, retard, listen, retard. What seemed to what seemed to justify, look, retard. You're not gonna get over me. Just quiet down. So what seemed to justify the correspondence theory was the definition I've already provided for truth. What seemed to justify the laws of space just seemed that, well, when we talk about the way we are, we say, well, we talk about spatial construct and we see the spatial construct within reality, and which therefore just justifies via the correspondence theory. So go ahead and give a response now.
To apply such X.
Look, I've already asked you where you've seen that these things were applied. You seem to dodge the question, so I went and justified it because you didn't answer my question. So now, look, it just seems that I've justified it three different things here, right? Look, it seems that it seems that I've justified three things, right? I've seen to justify the use of definitions. I said, well, look, whenever we talk about definitions, all we talk about is just something that we mean or what we mean when we say something, and when we look, what we mean when we say X is that it corresponds to reality, right? What we mean when we say true is that it corresponds to reality, and which it seems to justify the correspondence theory, right? And even if we don't seem to,
I can be skeptical of it. I can be skeptical of the definition of truth if you don't presuppose axioms, which literally makes your argument.
Yeah, look, it just seems that you've actually not given any responses. You didn't really answer the questions. You seem to run away like they had beat on you. So look, do you want to conclude? 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 Look, I'm perfectly fine with you screaming out to whoever you want to help you, but it's not going to help you. Just yes or no, do you want to conclude? Look, I want to answer to the question. Yes or no, do you want to conclude?
No.
Okay, why do you not want to conclude? Do you have something else to say?
Why do you want to conclude?
Yeah, because I think I've purposely, I think it was great. I think my responses were top tier that could have been given within this dialectic. So I think that we just need to conclude. There's nothing else to add on to this curve stopping that I've given you. Instead of you just sprinting away and dodging questions, I don't think there's nothing else that needs to be added here.
Again,
Hey, who goes first? Who goes first?
your definition of truth again is presupposes axiom, and your alignment theory.
Listen, what axiom is it presupposing?
Wait, guys, bro, if you guys want to conclude, who goes first?
No, we're not concluding yet. He still has something he wants to add. So what axiom is it presupposing there, seemed?
Again, within your paradigm, as you said, correspondence theory.
Wait, do you think you can presuppose something within the definition?
Shut the fuck up, let me speak.
Wait, no. I want an answer to the question. Do you think you can presuppose something within a definition? Look, I want a yes or no to the question. Do you think you can presuppose something within a definition?
Within the definition? How do you internally presuppose something within a definition? Do you presuppose?
Yeah, look, how do you presuppose something within a definition?
Or the components of the definition that make it up.
Look, that's not an answer to the question. I didn't hear a yes or a no, and I didn't hear a how given it's a yes.
What are you talking about? So I can answer. In what sense? The grammatical components of the.
Okay, look, that's not a yes or a no. I want a yes or no to the question.
The definition.
Look, I want a yes or no to the question. Just yes or no.
In what sense? Ask the question. In what sense?
Yeah, look, the question was, and which I want a yes or a no to, was, is it the case that you can presuppose something within the definition?
And how? And what do you mean by within the definition? Like within the fragments or grammatical?
Within the description of it. So, when we say, something, when we talk about, a wall, right? When we say a wall is something with 4 parts, does that presuppose anything?
Yeah.
What does it presuppose?
Presupposes that the wolf has 4 parts in all his.
Okay, now look, that's going under the correspondence theory, which is what's in question. So, look, yes or no, does it seem to, presuppose something? Also, that presupposes definition can have a truth value. That's also a problem there. But look, does it presuppose something besides the retarded response you've already given?
Have a truth value because you denied an axiomatic.
Look, is it the case? Listen. Is it the case that within the definition there's something being presupposed there, or that is capable of being presupposed? Yes or no? Once again.
Yes.
Okay, so within the question, or within the definition, that a wall is something with 4 sides, right? 4 sides that seem to be made out of something, right? What can be presupposed there? If all a word is something in which holds a certain meaning, right? And which is something you mean by when you say this word.
No. The fragments need the presupposed definition too.
Okay, just being clear, what do you mean by fragments?
The presupposed definition for the fragment.
Yeah, no, so you're gonna answer the question here. What do you mean by fragments?
Oh my god, holy shit, shut the fuck up. You're presupposing the
Look, you're going to answer the question. What do you mean by fragments?
the definitions of the fragments itself.
Okay, look, you're gonna stop dodging the question. I've asked you this 4 different times, and you seem to run away like it's like some abusive stepfather. Just answer the question. What do you mean by fragments?
Which are retarded to understand. Like holy shit. You need to
Okay, so was that an answer to my question? What do you mean by fragments?
to my one of the definitions I provided. So you dodged the question again.
Okay, so what's the definition for fragments? Go ahead.
Hmm?
What was the definition for fragments?
Fragments.
Okay, so instead of giving like a description of the word, you seem to repeat the word.
There grammatical sense when this context is a monological part, but it doesn't occupy existential monology. Well, however, I don't have the same.
Okay, look, you just mumbled and then you just started speaking loudly. What I want you to do is give a clear, loud, and confident response to the question, and then we can continue on. Once you give the definition for fragments, go ahead.
Answer the question, retard.
Yeah, like the rhetoric thing doesn't really work here for you. You have an Indian accent, you're stuttering, you're retarded. So I want an answer to the question, what does it mean for something to be a fragment here?
Go, doesn't matter to me. Like, holy shit. Oh, I'm gonna drop you on the field. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, look, what does it mean to be a fragment here? Thank you.
Part of the definition.
So it means to be a part. Okay, so by fragment here, you just mean part. And when you say like a part or a fragment of the definition, you're talking about a part of the definition. So what seems to be presupposed within the part of the definition, or a part of the definition?
The fragments. However, I do presuppose that.
Wait, so a part of the bro, what? You just to be clear, you said a part of the definition seems to presuppose a part of the definition. Just to be clear, when I asked you what part is being presupposed here, you said a part is being presupposed. Okay, look, we can't hear you. Go ahead and repeat it once I mute my mic. Go ahead.
I do presuppose definitions within the dictionary because I do accept self-evident axioms, unlike you, which falls into.
No, okay, look. That's assuming that you can presuppose it. So I'm asking you how you can presuppose it, and then you just said because you presupposed it before. That's not a response. That's a retarding. That's like retardation. So I want an answer to the question: how do you presuppose something?
Shut the fuck up. You accept the dictionary.
So how do you presuppose something?
Huh?
How do you presuppose something, or how do you presuppose a definition in which doesn't have a truth value?
The presupposing an assumption.
So you just give the definition of presupposition instead of explaining how you. You're gonna make me go insane. You're so retarded.
Why? I don't presuppose the fragments of the definition itself. I add to it within the meta language within Tosca systematic. So you retarded ass nigga.
Okay, look, you're gonna stop. Listen, you're gonna stop speaking like that. You're gonna speak normally. You're gonna speak in a way that we can hear and understand you. Because your Indian accent just seems to get heightened, and it seems to block the way that I can hear you. I don't know why. So what I want you to do, right? I want you to explain normally how you were speaking earlier instead of trying to use this whole rhetoric thing. Because you're failing at it miserably. So go ahead and give how you seem to presuppose the definition.
You suck ass.
Look, if the next words aren't, you presuppose a definition by X, Y, and Z meaning or reason or way, I'm just gonna go ahead and give why you can't presuppose a definition. So go ahead.
This is a proposition of presupposing that evaluates into a truth value. I'm not saying that the definition of X has an evaluation function here. I'm saying that it's presupposed as a part of the dictionary.
Wait, do you think? Listen, do you think the dictionary just seems to be the only way that we can like hold some meaning for words? Look, yes or no to the question. Do you think the dictionary is the only way in which we hold meaning towards a word?
Yeah, that's literally.
Okay, look, you're retarded. What's the argument for that?
Okay, so where do we get the definition from?
Look, the dictionary just seems to hold the definitions, but that's not how we make or how. Listen, that's not how we hold definitions to words. We can make up any word right now. Look. Listen. I can say Finkel Pop, and by Finkel Pop, I just mean, a red rock. And therefore, that seems to be a word with a definition that's not contained within the dictionary. So.
Define all that you said. Define all that you said.
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna appeal to the dictionary. Like the argument wasn't saying that the dictionary doesn't help you define or give definitions for words. It was that it's not the only way to do so or make a definition for a word. That'd just be a very weird thing.
Formulation without it. Holy shit, you're retarded. I can say that define same, and you will run
Okay,
to
yeah. So look. When you listen. When you look at ontological parsimony, look, when you ramble on and you say nothing, you don't mean anything by these words. You just look retarded in the conversation. So look, when you look up ontological parsimony, there's no dictionary that has it, but we obviously hold some sort of meaning towards it because it's something external to the definition or dictionary, which we use to make up words and which we use definitions for. That just seems to be like a really retarded view that only you hold. So look, I want a new response. I want it brand new. I want it to be substantive. I want to see, well, how does it seem that you can presuppose a definition? Three, two, one. Go.
you fucking retard. Holy shit, you suck ass.
Okay, look, that's not a response. I want a response to the question, please. Thank you.
What question again? I didn't hear
Okay,
you.
so look, you rambling in the background just made you not hear the question. So we're gonna stop that now, okay? 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 Okay, good boy. So look, the question what? Look, you're doing it again. Look, you're doing it again. You're doing it again. Cut it out. So look, the question. Look, you're doing it again. Why did you just say okay if you were gonna do it anyway? Okay, look, the question was right, ma'am. How is it the case, or why is it the case that the only things that we can use to like see definitions, or the only thing that definitions come from, is the dictionary? Why can't I make a word right now named Finkelbop? Right, we're gonna say the word is Finkelbop, and the definition of Finkelbop is a red big rock. Rock, my man. I don't know what a rock is. Yeah, a big red big rock. You know. Why can't I use that word as and the definition? Why does that presuppose anything?
Holy shit, you do realize that the dictionary by necessity includes
No, okay, look, that's not an
words.
answer, retard. That's not an answer, retard. That's not an answer to the question. I want an answer to the question. Also, look, while you're answering the question, I also want you to go find a definition or a dictionary that says ontological parsimony, and then we can, you can prove that to me. Thank you.
Anyways, can you define why is it the case? Can you define it?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Just answer the question, or
Oh, so you don't know the definition of what you are saying. Okay, cool. So I can grow it since it doesn't have definitions. That doesn't have definition. I can just ignore your request for justification because it doesn't have justification. It doesn't have definitions according to you. You can hear me?
Yeah, like I just want to answer to the question. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you define